What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cover Band Confidential podcast, the podcast for cover band musicians and band leaders to learn how to rock more and suck less. Here in Atlanta, Georgia, I am Adam Johnson.
Here in Greensboro, North Carolina, I am Dan Wright.
How's it going, Dan?
Well, kind of stuck in the house, but apart from that, I can't complain.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So, that's been kind of the running joke that, Thursday's the day that, I end up just, completely, losing it, run out of bandwidth, whatever.
Yeah.
That didn't necessarily happen today. I didn't freak out on anyone, so I got that going for me.
Cool.
But I've definitely not been my usual. I was gonna say chipper self, but that's not really in my
Chipper, not your. Yeah.
Well, I got a headache, and so I've just been kind of meh.
Yeah.
I'm at my beverage of choice tonight is a grapefruit sparkling
Super.
water.
Very
I
good.
mean, it's lovely. It's just it's not the other stuff.
It gets it done,
It does. How about you? What you drinking?
I'm enjoying a what is this? This is a Odin Brewing Things Left Unsaid IPA from my.
Whenever these guys reopen up, you should probably consider having them do like a promo spot or something. We're
Totally.
kind of doing it for free already,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, any exciting music news for you up in your area? No, that's fair.
No.
So
Nope.
the thing that's going on down here is that with the governor kind of opening things up, certain restaurants are actually bringing live music back. So some people are back to gigging as of this past weekend.
How's that going?
Well, I talked to a couple of guys, and the response has been, I think there's, and this is something that I think we need to be very clear about when we're talking to our audience about this. They're saying that 99% of the reaction is positive, that people are they are coming out and they're relieved
Okay.
to a degree, and they want to support and that kind of thing.
Yep.
But there are still people who are basically shaming them for doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's cool. I don't necessarily I've talked to the guys that I know that are doing it, and I'm like, look, I'm not going to come out because I don't feel comfortable, but
Right.
that's how I feel.
Right.
But I don't grudge anybody from going out and earning a living,
Sure.
doing this kind of work. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that my state's policies don't put us in an ethical question like that. It's just
Sure.
just not going to happen around here. Although, even once, let's say hypothetically, the scientists all said, "Yep, you're clear, all good, no corona left in the world."
Yeah.
We have all developed these habits and concerns and things we fixate on that I think will make coming back to normal life really tough. And
Yeah, for sure.
Some of that, I hope, leaves us with some good hygiene habits, and other things are just going to have to be back to being normal people. So
yeah,
that's just how that is.
Yeah, I mean, in this particular time, somebody's got to go out and kind of open this thing back up.
Yeah.
And I think the people that have chosen to do it are brave for sticking their necks out and doing it. And I hope it works. I hope things go well. The thing that really that kind of opens up, though, is there a way economically to do this in this current kind of configuration?
Yeah.
Your solo acoustic guys are probably going to be fine, because there's going to be a set, the rules surrounding that kind of situation kind of lend themselves to the way things should be.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
lower crowds,
For sure.
More distance, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Band stuff, it's just going to be hard.
Stuff, yeah.
It's just going to be hard.
Big question mark.
Yeah.
Big question mark.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting.
So,
do you have anything? I mean, as you look out at your calendar, what's your next possible date you might play?
So I had last Friday, I had gotten a phone notification that said, "You have an invite to play at the church that I normally play at
Hmm.
on May 31st." I'm like, "That's interesting." So, um, there was a note attached to that, and basically it was, it's a moratorium as a way to kind of like help out contractors. So we are booked for a date that more than likely or definitely isn't happening,
Right.
but they're going to honor the contracts.
Cool.
So
That's cool.
I think that is cool, and I'm definitely grateful for it. So it helps offset some of the costs that I've incurred as of recent.
Sure.
So I am, and I kind of like last time. I will be motivated to spread it around a little bit.
Totally.
So, but
Totally.
yeah, I mean that's basically where things are. The only other thing that I've got going on is I did sit down. Well, I didn't sit down because I was standing, but I I did record my parts for the cover project that I'm doing with a couple of my buddies.
Right.
And sent that off to the guy who's mixing it.
Yep.
Uh, Also shot some very embarrassing videos that in context will probably look cool, but I definitely didn't feel cool making them.
Right.
Yeah, so I was for me, guitar is one of those things that I can just pick up and go, okay, I'm going to do this, and I don't feel anything about it. Um, I will definitely say that I had a bit of a mental block about getting in front of a microphone and singing. There's something about that for me feels more vulnerable or whatever,
Sure.
or unsure of myself.
Sure.
Um, and I was like, I've been kind of putting it off because I was like, oh, it's gonna take forever to do, and I don't know how I'm gonna break all this stuff up. Um, so I ended up just saying, hey, I'm gonna go downstairs and spend some time, and I had the whole thing done in like 45
It's
minutes.
good. And I'll tell you, the clip you sent me sounded great.
Well, and that was I did I went in and
Sure.
tuned it up
Of
a
course.
little bit. Um, but I was pretty stoked on just the vocal arrangement that I was able to kind of pick out from the record. So, um, my hope is that the audio gets done within the next couple of days, and then the video editing starts, and then it'll get kind of shared around to everybody.
I'll tell you, it sounded good. It sounded um and you know, as isolated vocals go, which always sound weird and out of place,
Yeah.
they hung together well. So
Yeah. I mean, I was proud of what I was able to accomplish in the time that I had.
yeah.
And the song that we're doing is I Believe in a Thing Called Love by the Darkness. Let's go ahead and just break that out. It's not a it's not a an I'm not gonna say it's a hard song to sing. I know for some people it is. Like for me, it's one of those weird songs that just kind of like I open my mouth and it comes out. Um, so it wasn't difficult to do because it's kind of like it's just like any other studio project. If you go in and you're rehearsed, then it's easy to pull off.
Sure.
I've been singing this
Sure.
song for years. I mean, there's a decade in that period of time at least. Um, so I knew what I was getting myself into, and I knew how to do it. So, and I've got a very kind of efficient vocal recording process anyway. It's like 3 passes, and then layer all the harmonies on top of it. And then I could have sat there and nitpicked and comped it all, but I was like, mm-mm, I'm gonna let somebody else do that. The perfectionist in me would want to sit there and just nitpick every piece that
Sure,
I
sure.
sent it on. So
And you use that very SM7 that you're talking into right now.
yeah, I think it's coming through this time.
Yeah, I think it is too.
We made a big old stink about talking about it last time, and it wasn't even plugged in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, but I think it sounds good.
looks like Rich Bradley from New Jersey has joined the live stream on
That's
Facebook.
right.
So
That's right. For those of you
you
listening
guys,
on audio, this is also live streaming.
yep. So thanks to Rich for tuning in, and yeah, that's kind of where we are at. The No other things on the horizon. I did end up talking to that guy, that New York guy,
Oh yeah.
and he's looking for like live stream entertainment for like corporate or like private events and like like country clubs and stuff.
Huh.
I told him to look at, I told him what we could do, and I told him what it would cost, and I told him what to look at, and he said he'd get back with me. So, I mean, that's all I can really hope
So
for.
you'd be like up on a screen at an event somewhere or something?
Either that, or it would be like a private, like Zoom event or something, or
Huh.
like Facebook or YouTube, where like members would join in, and there would be a thing. Um, for us, the barrier of entry is, it's not exorbitant, but it's money because I want to pay my guys for doing it.
Sure.
But the barrier of entry may just be too high. And I think that's kind of where we're kind of at right now, is trying to like, so I talked about my buddy Ryan, the restaurant owner guy,
Yes.
a couple of weeks back about the work that he's been doing with, his restaurants and stuff. And now he's been out a lot in front of national news, Forbes, New York Times, ABC, and whatever,
Yeah.
talking about the economics of what this new situation looks like. And he's like, I can't open my restaurants. I just can't,
Right.
because I've got this many square feet, and I've got this many tables, and I know how much money I've got to pull in order to pay this guy and this guy and this guy. And he's like, I mean, we're making a good amount with takeout. It's sustaining us, and so we're going to do that until, the model makes sense for us.
Well, and you can do that with hardly any staff.
Yeah.
Right. Project your food costs, and it's actually a business model. It actually works.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of in the same boat. We're just going to have to figure out what works,
Yep.
for the time being.
Yep.
And I've had a couple of people reach out to me and go, "Hey, what, have you guys kind of discussed it?" It's like, yeah, a little bit, but I think that's really what it boils down to, is that we've just got to figure out the economics.
Totally.
And it's not just us, it's, it's venue owners, it's,
The whole market has to rethink itself. I mean, until we get back to where we can have a room full of 100 people again, the whole market has to rethink itself. We're going to have to reconsider the math of every part of it.
Yep, definitely.
So, yeah.
But, we are the kind of people that look at a situation like that and we're like, oh, look, a challenge. Something for me to,
I might dig my teeth into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
We're the weirdos.
We are. If you weren't listening to this podcast, you wouldn't be one of those weirdos.
That's absolutely true.
I may have said that backwards, but I think you know what I meant.
Yeah, I think it tracks.
Yeah.
I'm I'm keeping tabs.
Speaking of it tracks, I have a question about your the song that you recorded.
Yeah.
So did they send you stems that you played to, or were you playing all to the same click, or what was the recording process like?
So the recording process was I guess I would say it's unique. The drummer, basically the engineer and the drummer are in cahoots. They're the ones who kind of initiated the whole project. He just played along to the record. So I got 2 sets of stems. I got the original recording, and then I got the stem of the drummer and the bass player who had already laid their tracks down.
Okay.
And so I used kind of a mix of both to because I ended up laying all the guitars down. Laid all those kind of on top of each other. After a couple of passes, I turned the original recording off because it was just too much. And then just kind of doubled and tripled some parts. And then from there were a couple of parts where we were trying to like figure out pieces and like how to kind of orchestrate. And I happened to have the original stems that I had saved from some other dead project from whenever, and I was able to use those to kind of isolate some parts and figure that out. That's basically how I did the entire vocal arrangement. Figure out what the harmony parts were and
Cool.
what the little lines were, because there was stuff in there that I'd never even heard before.
For me, that song is just like I don't.
There's a lot.
Picking out details from it is just not a thing I do.
There are some points where I think there are like 5 to 7 vocal lines that stack with each other.
Wow.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I just wish I was better at doing them, but I guess we'll see how it comes out in the wash.
I guess there are words there.
Just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
Really? Is that what it says?
Believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
Wow.
There's a chance we can make it now. We'll be rocking till the sun goes down.
Rocking till the sun. It's like somebody bet them to put as many syllables into a song as they could do, and then.
So if the darkness is only that song to you,
It
you
is.
should absolutely look up Permission to Land, their first record.
Okay.
It is one of the greatest like rock and roll records. It's canon as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. I'll check it out. I've not been a fan. In particular, I've not been a fan. I just, haven't followed them.
Oh yeah, that record front to back is just a blast. It's fun to listen to. It's just the songs are fun. The music is great.
Noted.
Yeah, big fan.
I will check that out.
Well, we had played our little catch-up game and kind of talk about some stuff, but you had a particular subject you wanted to dig back into. So
aside from our catch-up, we must dig into it. I relish the opportunity to. No.
I'm leaving. You guys see ya.
Yeah. I may or may not dig into it, but
Jesus.
We're live streaming. I'm killing people in real time. I was on Reddit this week. I've spent a lot of time on Reddit in the last few weeks.
Yeah. There's a lot of Reddit about.
Yeah, and I was on our band members, I think, which is a really weird subreddit because half of it is about people like us and half of it is about like, where do I get my French horn pruned, or like whatever they need about their bassoon.
Where do I get my French horn pruned?
Yeah, something. I don't even know.
Like they get to, you have to like trim them back.
It gets all bushy and you have to, yes.
I don't. Yes, but it is like that. It's like it's a bunch of guys talking about like song selection. Then every once in a while, someone's like, "Oh man, I've got to really shed for this recital."
That's right. Yeah, I'm testing for first chair.
Like, brah, you were like,
wow, right
totally
on.
in the wrong spot.
Right onward. Good on you though, because we've all been there. But it's been a few years for a lot of us. Anyway, there was a post on there that made me think about us, because it said, help us name our band. Help us name our band, it said. And the two options that the band members were fighting over were Buzzkill and Ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Both of which are terrible band names. Terrible band names. But it took me back to episode, I want to say 4, where I basically laid out my exegesis on the subject of band branding. And because what you have on this subreddit post is a great example of somebody who's got the cart before the horse, branding wise. And they're talking band name before they even know what the heck they are. And they're out to change band names because that apparently is something just interchangeable. It's just a trivial thing to just change a band. Just no big deal.
Like somebody didn't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. One of the players was like, I don't like the name Buzzkill, which fair. I don't like it either. But all of our listeners in bands named Buzzkill are going to email us now. But the point is, branding is way more than just a title of a band. It's way more than like a logo or color scheme or even a font you choose or anything like that. It's way more than, something you go on Fiverr and get somebody to draw for you. It's the whole concept of the band. It's the whole ethos and spirit and feel of the band. It's the personality of the band. And really, 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 it's been a long time since I've harped on this, but I'm going to harp on it because it's been so long. You really want to know all that before you get as far as like picking a name.
Yeah.
Before you get as far as picking a logo, before you get as far as designing a set or choosing songs. You want to know what kind of band you are. Later in the thread, it turns out it was an all-girl punk band, which I'm for all-girl punk bands. I think that's pretty awesome. And frankly, when I saw that, suddenly the name Buzzkill didn't seem so bad. I actually kind of like Buzzkill as an all-girl punk band. That's not the end of the world.
Yeah. A little on the nose, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. Hard to say. Ambidextrous still doesn't strike me. My response was that you should go with Buzz Dexter and the Ambi Killers. Buzz Dextrous and the Ambi Killers.
Yeah, because that was the problem.
The problem was it wasn't complicated enough.
Yeah.
We needed more weirdness.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the point is, and it's been a long time since I've had the opportunity to say it, and it just this subreddit, this post on this subreddit just jumped out at me to make the point that um, everything about us band folks wants to get the cart before the horse that way. We all want to like, let's have a band, okay? Like, and then we got gigs booked before we have a concept of what the heck it is, because you can't really even talk about booking. You can't talk to a venue. You can't talk to somebody who's going to hire you. You certainly can't talk to, event bookers or brides or corporate event booker, anything about that until you can say, here's the elevator pitch about my band. We're a 80s tribute act, 90s tribute act. We're the best darn party band in Atlanta. Until you can say that, until you know that about yourself, you've got nothing to sell.
Yeah.
So,
well, but there's a period of time where you need to go and you need to make decisions. Like,
yep,
we are going to be this, we're not going to be that.
that's right.
And it's okay if those things don't necessarily ring true when you're starting, because a lot of this is kind of like a process. It's a trial and error. You're going to learn.
Sure.
For me, talking about this kind of feels like the YouTube thing for me, because there's a part of me that is like, I can't do this because I don't have this ready and I don't have this, and I've got to do this and I don't want it to look like this,
right?
Because I'm worried that it's not going to be, it's not going to look professional. It's not going to be fully realized.
Right.
But the problem is that if you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't matter how long you wait.
That's true.
You're never going to know.
That's also true.
So I'm more of from the entrepreneurial side, like, just, make some decisions.
Yeah.
Like, you are absolutely right. 100% make decisions, but don't feel like they're set in stone, or, they're carved in blood. It's important for you to kind of make certain choices in the beginning, because it's going to steer you in a certain direction. And maybe you get 2 or 3 steps down the line and go, okay, well, what this means doesn't really jive with what we were talking about back here. So maybe let's go back and revisit it.
Sure. I mean, listen, companies that spend millions of dollars in branding, they get years down the road and that brand is expired or it missed the mark somehow, and they rebrand and they spend that money again. It's a fine thing to have to do. You just don't want to. You want to have some sense of it. I think you want to be in the ballpark. Even loosely in the ballpark, but in the ballpark. My company, we're in the real estate space. We make software for real estate, and there's this whole big thing they did about what we do is we help people find, acquire, and protect the homes they love. Find, acquire, and protect. Find, acquire, and protect. First of all, nobody thought too hard about what the acronym for that is.
Yeah. I just did.
Yeah. Well, a lot of us did, but apparently not at corporate. They didn't. And then the other thing is, we are a pretty large company, and we have been buying a lot of companies, and the word acquire makes us sound a little creepy.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like acquiring companies rather than like helping people buy houses that they love. So they've changed it to find, buy, protect, which has a much better, I don't know if it's a better acronym, but it's a better acronym. It's certainly a better acronym.
Having a not good acronym is still sometimes better than having a bad acronym.
Having an acronym that doesn't say anything is better than saying something you don't mean.
Saying the wrong thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So the point is, they did, it was a half-day webinar followed by an in-person program. It was like a whole, they stopped a 6,000 person company to get Find, Acquire, Protect into our brains. And then they gave us all t-shirts to set it.
No.
Yeah.
Walking around with fat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And now they've changed it to Find, Buy, Protect, and our t-shirts are all obsolete. What are you going to do?
A t-shirt's never obsolete.
Well, it's
as long
still
as it
t-shirts.
Covers nipples, a shirt is not obsolete.
It does still t-shirt.
And I think that's going to be our next line of merch, is just the one that says, as long as it covers your nipples.
As long as it covers your nipples, it's still a t-shirt. I'm in. But it needs to be cropped right to You know.
Yeah. So there's some under boob showing, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a crop
Always
top
thinking,
that says
you know,
as long as it covers your nipples, and
it's a
even maybe if it doesn't.
stylish.
I don't know. We've lost track of this episode, Adam. I don't know what's happening.
You might have to change the name of the episode.
As long as it covers your nipples?
Yeah.
Or even if it doesn't?
I mean, at least it doesn't say FAP on it.
As long as your shirt doesn't fap. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, this one's going great.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, what is the point? The point is that I saw that question. It was just so obviously a question not grounded in any kind of branding and not given by any kind of thinking about that. But I just wanted to bring it to y'all and say, think harder before you get down the road, if you can, and don't get paralyzed by that. You gotta balance them. Gotta balance them out. You can't. I would recommend not getting too far down the road before doing some thinking, and also don't let the need to fully flesh it out paralyze you.
Yes. And I think, both of us, like, depending on your personality type, those both meet certain challenges.
Well, and know yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're going to fetch up on the rocks one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Do you want to talk about any, maybe not necessarily branding don'ts, but like maybe some things not to do as a band when you're trying to put a brand together?
Well, I mean, first of all, don't ignore your market.
Okay.
Right? In my market here, we need another a classic rock cover band. Like, there's like no room in the market for another dang classic rock cover band. Like, please don't just do classic rock. That's handled.
Yeah, you'd have to be like some kind of like novelty.
Sure.
To it.
Now,
Dressed like
clown. A Zeppelin tribute, maybe.
Right.
A Skinner tribute, probably we have enough of those.
Okay.
And it doesn't take very many to be enough of those.
Sure.
I bet we have room for another Beatles tribute in town.
Okay.
But that's on the edge of novelty.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna, like, by novelty I meant like, you like an all female or
sure.
And I hate that that's
no, yeah, no, but it's got a gimmick.
It is, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Or you all dress like Transformers, which is a band. That is an actual.
That is a band.
And they play the cons, as they say.
Yep.
Quite a bit. And they're good.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell they play in those robot outfits, but
what's the band that dresses like McDonald's characters?
Max Sabbath.
Max Sabbath, that's right. Yeah.
They play Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
About McDonald's.
It's genius.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of room for that sort of thing. And you'd probably work a lot if you were Max Sabbath.
Yeah.
You'd probably have to travel, but you'd work. But another bar band that does your basic top 40 the 70s, nobody needs it. What about you? What branding dotes can you think of?
I was trying to be a bit cheeky, I guess. Like, no bleeding cowboys for your logo.
No crossed pistols.
No crossed pistols. No pinups.
Yeah, skulls are probably done.
I mean, skulls maybe.
Depends on the genre, probably.
Yeah. Try to avoid train tracks and abandoned buildings or brick walls for your promo pictures.
Yeah.
Do have a website. Don't have a bad one.
Sure. Do you have a Facebook page? Don't talk politics on it.
Ooh, good one.
Even these days.
Yeah.
Hard though that is.
Yes, because the thing talking about branding is that your band is a brand, but you're a brand.
That's right.
I'm a brand. That's at least what it says on my LinkedIn page.
Yeah. I had so something happened in the real estate tech industry today. A guy that I know, I've met him at a couple of conventions, and I like him, but he's a lot. He's intense. Pretty much went after a competitor of his on social media, and PM'd a bunch of his employees, female mostly employees, just snarky things, including PM'd a person whose father had just died of cancer and his mother was just diagnosed with cancer. And what he said in the message was, I hope your parents are proud of you.
That's not a, I don't even think that falls under branding. That's like, why are you
being this way? Why?
Yeah, why are you a terrible
Please be a
person?
good human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so he got called out by that competitor who happens to have like one of the most prominent blogs in the industry, and like the whole world turned on him. I mean, it was the
Whoops.
biggest PR nightmare I've seen. And I know the guy, and it's like I'm watching the walls of his business crumble. That kind of thing can happen if you are not a good human online, and it's for some reason really easy to not be a good human online. Apparently, I don't quite get it.
Yeah.
To be fair, there are people who would say I've not been a good human online.
Sure.
I'll allow that.
I'll say this, like anytime that I feel like I'm about to like jump into something online, I usually have like one of those gut check moments. I'm like, why? Like, are you just in a bad mood?
Yeah.
Like, are you just having a crappy day?
Do you need a sandwich?
9 times out of 10, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I feel cruddy and I just want to kind of like,
I'm
dust
gonna
that
put my
off
crud on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I think there are a lot of times like a cheese cracker would probably prevent me a lot of trouble online. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway, don't do that.
Yeah.
That is a major branding misfire.
Pick the guy who's going to wear the hat.
You're going to need to say a little more about that.
Well, like, you can't all be like, if somebody wears a hat, that's fine.
Yeah.
Somebody can wear a hat.
Yeah.
But like, if more than one guy is wearing a hat, or like there's an odd number of people and you're not all wearing hats,
So it's either one person or everybody in hats.
Or nobody.
I prefer nobody, but if there's going to be hats, one dude, probably the front man.
Yeah, I'll wear a hat on some days. This is a lot to manage.
I get it.
Some days.
Mine's getting there. Yeah. For those of you listening to us on audio, Adam just unleashed his locks of glory, and they were remarkable.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Be on like a hot day. I don't want to mess with that junk.
I hear you.
So let's put a hat on.
But so the point is, a band with I'm trying to get the logic here. If you got like 5 guys in the band and 2 of them are in hats, you think that's too many hats?
Probably, unless there's like an extenuating circumstance. Like Nathan, our drummer, is bald.
Uh-huh.
If we're playing outside, if he wants to wear a hat, he should wear a hat.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's functional. But like, if there's 5 guys on stage and 3 of them are wearing hats and 2 of them aren't, that's weird.
Huh. Unless the band's name is Too Many Hats.
Well, then everybody should be wearing hats.
Actually, everyone should be wearing 2.
Right.
Because then that would be too many.
Well, no, then they should be wearing 3 hats, because then 3 hats on each head is too many per person.
That'd be too many hats would be the band name.
10 too many hats.
10 too many, so then everyone's wearing 11.
Yes.
Each person has 11 hats on. The band's name is 10 Too Many Hats.
Bingo.
This is our band. When we finally play together, 10 Too Many Hats is going to be the name of our band. I love this.
We'll wear crop tops. That'll be it.
I like when we come full circle in an episode. I really do enjoy that.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely tropes and things to avoid.
For sure.
If you have an Instagram account, you should look up Rigs of Dad.
Rigs of Dad is awesome.
And if any of your stuff shows up there, gut check. Think about it.
Yeah.
I don't have any other smart ass things to say. Those were just kind
of covered the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel good about that.
Yeah, I think this is a good kind of revisit.
It is, and I think we were talking some time back about replaying our first few episodes, because there was a lot of good content in there, and we didn't. First of all, to have the tech very well dialed in the first dozen episodes or so, and we also had like Domang, but nobody else. Listening. So, however, I mean, the download numbers do certainly indicate that people have gone back and started at the beginning quite a lot. So that's good. That's good.
Yeah, we had thought about potentially doing some kind of like bonus episode every week where we basically start over from episode 1, and then we're releasing technically 2 episodes a week, but the second one would be one from the beginning and kind of like do reverse order. Well, maybe we could do that for at least another year or two.
We could do like a revisit. You know, your boy down there, Alton Brown,
Yep.
is doing a whole series where he takes early episodes from 20 years ago of his show and like comments on himself and like intervenes in some mistakes that he made or updates things that have changed. That might be a thing to do. I don't know.
I watched an episode of his live stream, this quarantine kitchen he's been doing at home.
It's good, isn't it?
And well, him and his wife were there, and he had a bottle of champagne. He tried to saber it.
Oh.
And broke the bottle, and it went everywhere.
Oh. Yeah.
And then they spent the next 10 minutes trying to clean it up in the glass, and I was like, I guess this is TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't really much to watch.
Yeah. I've seen some that were pretty good, but that one probably not.
Probably was. No, it was not.
I'd watch a few minutes of it, but then.
Yup. Well, guys, another week has gone by.
Mm.
You know, there might be a light at the end of the tunnel. Time will tell.
Some places it's coming faster than you want.
Otherwise, just keep on practicing.
Yeah, you know, every day's a little bit like Groundhog Day around here. It's all looking a little samey, but we'll make it through. We will make it through.
And we will, you know, come out on the other side. Period. Different, better, who knows?
Faster, stronger.
We will come out on the other side.
Yeah.
Well, all that being said, guys, thanks again for your continued support. We love each and every one of you. Please come by our house and we will wave from a respectable distance from you.
If you're bringing groceries, leave them on my stoop.
Yes, 100%. So I hope you're all doing well. If you want to hit us up or you have any questions or just want to say, hey, get at us at coverbandconfidential@gmail.com or at the all new, it's not all new anymore, but it's still fairly new, coverbandconfidential.com. And we just hit 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Boom.
So we are posting these videos as well as some supplemental content in between. I'm probably going to be doing some gear reviews of some of the new junk I bought. Though I probably need a couple more weeks to get my feet under myself because even this week setup was a bit of a pain in the butt. But that's just the way these things go. And we're trying and we're learning and we're doing all the things.
Yep.
So that will do it for this week from Atlanta, Georgia, in the Channel 4 newsroom. I am Adam Johnson.
From Greensboro, North Carolina, just right here in my house, Dan Ray.
You have been listening to the Cover Band Confidential Podcast, episode 102. Have a great week.
Thank you so much for tuning into our podcast. If you want to help us, be sure to share us with your friends, follow us on social media, and if you haven't already, please leave a review for us on the podcast platform of your choice. Facebook.com/CoverbandConfidential, Instagram @CoverbandConfidential, and Twitter @CoverbandConfid. If you have any questions, please email us at coverbandconfidential@gmail.com and consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/coverbandconfidential. And for more info, check out www.coverbandconfidential.com.